Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Gutierrez. I am the Director of Leadership Programs with the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement. Every day, my team works to positively impact the American workplace by cultivating the pipeline of Latino talent and providing Latino professionals the insight, access, and support to be successful in their careers. One of the ways that we do this is through our leadership development program. So shout out to all of our alumni that are tuning in, Mujeres de HACE, our emerging Latino leaders, and any of the other alum that are tuning in. Good morning, good morning. With that, today I have a special guest here with us, Melinda Ramirez, a Latina entrepreneur, leadership development coach, Mujeres de HACE alum, and a program lead. With that, Melinda, good morning. And
Good morning.
what is in your cup this morning? What is your morning beverage?
Well, good morning, Kim. Good morning, everyone watching. Buenos dias. I see Jeanette, Cynthia. I love the energy. I am Team Agua all day. I'm not drinking cafe. I know. My family will get on me, but I'm Team Agua.
No, kudos to you. Kudos to you for your good choices. Water is always a great choice. But I know, shout out to all my coffee drinkers out there, because that is what I'm reaching for first thing in the morning. But Melinda, we are here to learn a little bit more about you. If you could tell us about your cultural and professional background.
Well, first, thank you, Assa and Kim, and also Patricia Mota for this amazing opportunity. Me siento muy excited to be here. Shout out to all my Selena fans. You'll get that reference. But my journey really from Assa, I feel like I'm Assa through and through. I'm a Mujeres de HACE graduate from the 2016 New York City cohort. Then I did the Emerging Latino Leadership Program in New York City. Then after that, I ended up becoming career coach, program lead. So I went all the way from participant, started from the bottom. Now I'm here and I'm excited to share my experience as a participant and now as a lead.
Yes, I know that I get to work with you on a regular basis because of all the great work that you do with us. And so I feel like I know you, but I want our audience to know you a little bit better. Can you share just your cultural background, professional background, any words of wisdom from your upbringing? We want to know.
Yeah, so I'm a proud dummy Rican, so Dominican and Puerto Rican. So I am super caliente all the time. Originally from New York, and now I'm residing here in Tennessee. My father is Dominican immigrant. My mother is Puerto Rican American. I'm raised straight up on the values of overcoming struggle, looking for support, finding strength, and supporting others. And really my upbringing is I grew up, like a lot of immigrant families that came to New York, maybe with a little bit of struggle. I grew up Section 8 housing. I grew up on food stamps. I say that now with so much pride. I'll be honest, back in the day, high school, middle school, it was hard to admit that because, we didn't have everything that I wanted at that time. But really what I needed, I got. The love, the values, everything that was instilled in me, the pride of being Latina, the pride of making something in this country, not only for myself, but for my people. So nuestra comunidad, that is something that my family really instilled in me. And I think that really is the journey that took me from my personal life into my professional life.
I love that. I love that, and I love that you have chosen to pay it forward, to reach back and pull others up with you. I am super impressed just with your background and your history with Assa, and I would love to just know a little bit more about your experience with the different programs. What would you say was the most impactful? And then I know that you have some of your cohorts that are tuning in right now. I'm going to ask you what your favorite session is.
So I gotta be careful because I know people are watching. I have to say, and I gotta be really honest, at the time that I joined Mujeres de HACE beforehand, I was working at a phenomenal institution in upstate New York, mid-Hudson Valley. And I appreciated the opportunity, but I was seeking mentorship, especially from a Latina. I didn't have, people of color in leadership roles around me. So thank God my institution supported me going into New York City, traveling, and I came across this Mujeres de HACE program. And I was looking for community collaboration over competition. Being a young woman of color in New York, going back and forth to New York City, it's a grind, it's a hustle, it's competition. And I felt that, accepted it, but I'm like, I need my people. I need to see people that I look like me, that can relate to me, that can really speak upon their journey. So I have to say, my experience as a participant really told me the community and collaboration was so instrumental in my life personally, and that's what I want to give back. So I have to use this time to give a shout out to Marlene Gonzalez, Doctora Isaura Gonzalez, and Aide Morales, because these women were not only workshop presenters, our mentors, are people that I work with even today. I make personal phone calls. So that just goes to show you the volume that community and collaboration is really something that Assa lives, breathes, and does every single day.
I love that. I couldn't have said it better myself, Melinda. If you are like Melinda and you are looking for that community, if you're looking for mentors who have that shared experience, our Mujeres de HACE application is currently open. It does close March 1st, and we do keep our returning guest. Marlene Gonzalez is still very active with the program. Isara has come by as a guest speaker, so you too can have the opportunity to connect with these amazing Latina leaders and so many others. And then with that, thank you for sharing your experience and just your journey that led you to the Mujeres de HACE, cohort. But my question is how did you kind of progress to take that next step, right, and come back as a program lead and come back as a leadership development coach?
So I also didn't forget your question about the favorite workshop, and it's going to answer into this twofold. My favorite workshop as a participant was on salary negotiation. The reason why, because the data was taught to me and I never really knew. At that time, 2016, Latinas were making 54 cents to their white male counterparts. Now 2021 data is about 57 cents, give or take, because pandemic has shifted things. So to know the data, to know the upfront truth, I already kind of felt it, but to see it black and white, to see that Latinas have to really make 23 months into the year of what their white male counterparts make in 12 months, I was like, I felt the hustle and the grind, but then to see the difference, I was like, I have to do something. So the amazing coaches like literally worked with me in my cohort. We scripted stuff. We dropped the proposal. I was able to actually get a $4,000 raise 3 months after I completed the program. I got other sponsorship. I got so many more opportunities, not just the salary that I was able to get. So to see how that firsthand experience not only put money in my pocket, but gave me confidence to go after what I deserved, that made me be like, I need to teach this to help not only close the gender gap and the wage gap, but to also give confidence for women, especially Latinas, to believe in their worth, add value, fight for, and stand in their power.
Yes. I think being able to understand the value and being able to communicate and get, that money, those finances to pay your bills and impact your family, those are huge, huge game changers. And we do get a lot of great feedback on our negotiation session. But my question to you is as a program lead, how was that experience different? What value, how did you learn and grow in that position?
So currently, I'm actually the program lead for the Mujeres de HACE Entrepreneur Program, and I just finished the Mujeres de HACE program, which was an international group. So we had mujeres from Brazil, Canada, USA. I was like a student / lead because I was learning along with them. They were just phenomenal women. The entrepreneurs are all amazing. Just seeing them all unite in their Latina backgrounds, whether they come from different countries or from the United States, but just really talking about our fears in true honesty in a safe space. And it's like, we're not alone. we can help each other. We can make a difference. We can hold each other accountable, stretch ourselves to really push ourselves to the next level and hold ourselves accountable. So I think as a program lead, being able to provide that support, but also holding that accountability on both ends was really instrumental for me. So shout out to my cohort participants. I love all of you.
I know that they're tuning in today, but I always say that the best teachers they learn and they grow through that experience as well. So I was excited to hear you say that. We are going to be turning it over later for questions for Melinda. So if y'all have questions about anything that we've talked about thus far, please feel free to put them in the chat, and then as they come up in our conversation, I'll make sure and ask those questions. So tell me a little bit about just you said you participated in a couple of different programs as a program lead. What would you say are the key differences and the key impacts that you see within those programs? How do they differ?
Oh, so as a program lead for the Mujeres de HACE, shout out to the whole Assa team behind the scenes, all the leads. We meet on a weekly basis. We review like feedback data. So we're constantly growing and adapting. So I think as a program lead, especially us going virtual and now opening up to an international population, over 180 something participants did the last cohort. We were learning as we were expanding. And we also had to take into account international needs. Just because negotiation in America is one way, internationally in Brazil might be taught a different way. So, we had to take diversity, equity, inclusion, even in the Latino community, involved into our minds. The entrepreneurial program, shout out to all the entrepreneurs, to Telemundo, Comcast for sponsoring the program. We have now 14 amazing small business owners and entrepreneurs. And it's a kickoff program. So we're learning ways to help them not only develop their business, but pitch their business to potential investors. So as a program lead, I'm learning what resources we can get to put them in a platform for them to succeed.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And Melinda did bring up some great points. Assa is now international, we were one of the fortunate organizations to be able to thrive in the pandemic, and going virtual has allowed us to connect with such a wider audience across borders, across oceans, and still drive home that learning and coming to terms and really just empowering our cultural values and being authentic to ourselves regardless of what situation that we are currently in. So Melinda, my next question is what are you looking forward to in 2022? What inspires you, gives you hope?
What gives me hope is my baby girl, my Isabela Zara. She is 1 year old, and boy, having a baby in the middle of a pandemic, also moving, being a military spouse, it has been a lot of punches, but her smile keeps me going. And that's a baby Latina, a baby Mujeres de HACE intern. And just seeing her makes me want to fight harder to really close a lot of the gaps to give her an equal footing, or as equal as possible. So when she grows up, she could be as successful as she can be. So she gives me hopes and inspires me to, knock down some more barriers as much as possible.
I love that. Always thinking about the future. With that, what advice would you have for Latinas who are considering applying to the Mujeres de HACE program?
Do it. Just apply. Honestly, I was like, what do you have to lose? You know what I mean? You have great opportunities to be in front of really impactful Latinas who have been there, done it, our executives sharing their words of wisdom. You have a guided course that you could do virtually, hopefully in person soon, and also the classmates who have become my friends, who have been there to be there to help me professionally and personally. Like, if you're looking for community collaboration over competition, this is where you need to go.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we spoke a little bit about your program experience, both as a participant and as a program lead. To our general audience listening in, what are three key takeaways that you would want to leave them with in reference to the Assa leadership programs?
So when you say leadership, the mujeres and the
Mujeres de
emerging.
HACE, Mujeres de HACE entrepreneur, emerging Latino leaders, however you want to, whatever direction you want to take us, Melinda.
I would say when you're ready to stand into your power, leverage your Latinidad, really be strong, tap into those roots, and figure out a way that you can not only do something to impact yourself, but the community. There's opportunities to do that, either as a program lead, a participant, coming in and listening to the cafecitos. The more that you invest in yourself, the better that you get, and the more helpful you can be to serve others.
I appreciate that. Those were great words. So my next question is you're really active on LinkedIn. I see your posts. I like your posts. How do you leverage your network to build your business, to make those connections?
So shout out to LinkedIn. LinkedIn people connect. I love to connect. I utilize it really to support other people. I was told one time, it's not boasting when you share your journey. If you share along like, hey, as a program lead, this is what we did in class, here are some resources, and you're sharing your journey, that's a great way to show people that, one, it's possible because you're doing it, but two, here are some resources. So I like being able to showcase my journey, but also showcase others. So even though I think I'm amazing, there's other amazing people that I'm like, so-and-so is doing this, check this out. And I think by uplifting and empowering others, that helps me as well. So it all goes back to helping and collaborating.
Yes, I love the strategic partnerships that I see on LinkedIn. I know our last topic, our last session with the Mujeres de HACE entrepreneur program did talk about strategic partnerships. What advice would you have for people that are looking into building those strategic partnerships? And any key takeaways that you want to share with our audience from that session?
Yes. So strategic partnerships, it's all about cultivating, cultivando. Give the relationship love and light and water just like you would to plants and crops. Give it that good energy, give it good soil, give it good water, which means take time with it. Get to know people, identify what their needs are, find out ways that you can support them. So the more love, energy, and follow up and follow through that you can give, the more helpful the partnership would be. So be strategic about how you cultivate those partnerships.
Love it. So for those of you who are just tuning in, we do have Melinda Ramirez here with us. If you have any questions, she's a NDH alum, Emerging Latino Leaders alum, returning program lead. Do go ahead and put those in the chat and we will be answering questions soon. So Melinda, one of my last questions for you is, what would you say to someone who is looking at the application and saying that's not me, that's not for me, or I'm not there yet?
It's okay. Look at the research, but also reach out to the asset team. Reach out to me, LinkedIn me, if you want to talk to some people, talk to, behind the scene folks at Assa. If you want to reach to the alums, we can help you find that out. Feel free to look at it and do it when you're ready. Obviously I'm all encouraging, apply now, but if you're not ready, you're not ready. But, do your research, talk to some folks, and hopefully that can get you ready when you're good to the next step.
I love that advice. If you are looking at that application and you are thinking, I'm not there yet, definitely take Melinda's advice, reach out to my team. We wanna get you there. Whenever we talk about cultivating that pipeline of Latino talent, that's you, that's everyone. And so if we can get you to the point where you feel comfortable, where you want to, come into that space, learn and grow and really just own your Latinidad, like, we are there to help support you and get you to that space because we want to see you in the classroom. right? We
Absolutely.
want to see you. We want to see you on our future cafecito, joining us early in the morning, telling us about your amazing experience and amazing career trajectory. It's
Absolutely.
it's not just some of us; it's all of us that we want to bring along.
Absolutely.
A question that we did receive in the chat is the program limited to women in current leadership roles? And I will answer this question. So, Dolores, it is not limited to women in current leadership roles. We do have some criteria around, just a time professional experience, but we also are looking at high potential, high performers in the programming as well. And so if ever, you have any doubts or any questions around whether you meet any of the criteria, again, just shoot us that email. It's a very quick just review and, letting us know. But to answer your question is no, that management position is not required, but that leadership part is definitely a nice to have. We did get another question that came through in the chat, and it said, is this program only for entrepreneurs? Jalen, we do have two programs they're both Mujeres de HACE at their heart. Our Mujeres de HACE program in itself is not limited to, entrepreneurs. We do, are targeting Latinas within that specific program. As both programs, actually, we're looking for individuals that identify as Latina, but with the entrepreneur program, and that has its own little tag, its own branding. That program is specifically for Latina entrepreneurs. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. So Steffi asked, are there any scholarships or grants to help me with our tuition? And the answer, Steffi, to your question is yes. Assa is. I'm so excited to announce that we will be offering scholarships both at the nonprofit and for-profit professionals. I encourage you to look at the application, and within the application there is a box that will allow you to kind of check that designation on that tuition support. With our nonprofit scholarship, special shout out to American Express, who has made those scholarships possible. But yes, definitely check that box, and then we'll be sending you that information via email.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so important to us that we make our programming accessible, and luckily for us, like through our partnerships, we're able to offer that tuition support and that scholarship support. But great question, Steffi.
And I'm a scholarship recipient, so shout out to us and its partners.
Yes. So you can find our costs for the specific programs online. The programs are cohort based, and you will be navigating through a total of like 8 sessions. There are learning sessions, and then there's also a graduation event included in that as well. But as I said, it is cohort based, so you'll be going through this experience with 20 other Latinas who are just as motivated and just as open to that connection and that learning and growth as you are. But great question. Anything else that you would add about Melinda, about either like the cohort experience or what it's like to go through that learning and have that experience with a set group of women around you?
I think that was the highlight of my experience. Like I said, coming in, and I didn't want to feel alone. I knew that there was Latinas. I knew that there was leaders. I knew that there was bosses around. I wanted to be in a room full of them. And I think this gave me the opportunity in the physical room and also now in the virtual room. So just being able to connect, feel like I'm not alone in my struggles, my insecurities, my backgrounds, and then really reframing those thoughts and stepping into my power and leveraging my Latinidad was such a huge takeaway. And I really recommend anybody who's just curious or wants to explore more, check out on the Assa webpage a little bit more. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll set up a time, and I would love to help answer any questions. Anything I can't answer, I could direct to Kim and anybody else on the Assa team.
No, I thank you again, Melinda, for just sharing your vulnerability with us. We do often hear that experience of, oh, I felt alone, and I'm going to try to keep out of my feelings with this piece, but it's so important that we have those realizations that, you know, a lot of these experiences, a lot of these struggles, like there are, you know, others who have those shared experiences. And one of the things that I have loved about, you know, the Assa leadership programs is creating those spaces to have conversations and be able to, you know, address and talk about and navigate and get advice on, you know, the unique experiences that Latinas are facing to ultimately lead to that. Oh, hey, I'm not alone, right? I have a group of people who have gone through this, who have experienced this, who can give me advice on these specific things. Because if you're out there and you're feeling alone, you're not alone. And the great thing is our program leads, just like Melinda, who is already here looking to make, you know, willing to connect with you and support you through this process. That is something that we really look for within our program leads. Luckily, you know, we also like our Mujeres alum to come back and you know, keep paying back to that community. And so, but yeah, thank you for sharing that piece.
Feel those feelings. Let's validate them. Let's work through them and help each
Yes.
other. Like it's heart to heart. Like we only get through, right? Break down those walls to build them back up.
I
So
will
let's
tell
feel
you,
it.
one of the first Mujeres sessions that I sat on, there was already, you know, those heart to hearts in session one. I was so unprepared for it, but I was like, I'm here for it. So I love that you bring that piece up. So we did have another question. Can you share the primary distinctions between the emerging leaders and the Mujeres programs? So first, just off the bat, our Mujeres de HACE program is, you know, women. It's women based, looking at that Latina target audience. It is also looking at leading self. So within that leadership program, we really analyze, you know, those leadership development foundations and developing those skills, those mindsets, those competencies in order to thrive really just at leading self within that specific curriculum. Our Emerging Latino Leaders program is really that next step within that leadership programs pipeline where we start to focus on leading others. So you'll see that those competencies are more in line with, you know, leading teams, leading groups, and those different elements. Our primary target audience for our Emerging Latino Leaders program is that we are looking for supervisors, managers, director, individuals that have those management positions. It's also open to high performing individuals as well, ERG leaders, anyone, program project managers, anyone who's leading a team and needs to develop that specific skill set. With our Mujeres de HACE, again, it is not, that leadership position is not required. And we are really focusing on developing that foundational self and coming to self-awareness on your own leadership development journey. And just in my experience, I've seen that, you know, sometimes that skill set and that development is needed regardless of where you're, what that title is, how many people you're managing, because self-awareness is so crucial regardless of which element you are diving into. And I do see that we are at time, but I want to give you a chance to just close, Melinda. You know, we have our asset community tuning in today. Any final words of wisdom that you want to leave us with this morning?
I just want to use this opportunity to thank Assa for believing in me, really helping me with the journey by equipping me with the mentors, the curricula, and just giving me a platform to invest in myself, believe in myself, to now where I'm a point that I could pay it forward, share my experiences. So thank you, really, everybody at Assa for giving me the opportunity to grow. from 2016 till now, and I'm still growing. I got a lot of work to do still, but I can share the gems that I learned along the way. So I really am just grateful for the programs that Assa has put together and the team that work really hard behind it. I truly stand by it, and I'm here to support and answer any questions on my experience.
I thank you, Melinda. I would love to say that, it's just the Assa team, but Assa we're a community.
Absolutely.
And a community of individuals, leaders, partners, collaborators, and we could not do it without this community, without everyone. So I'm going to turn it back to you and say thank you. And thank you to everyone else who is out there supporting the Assa mission. We could not do it without you. And if you're in that position where you're saying, hey, maybe, is this me? Should I apply for this program? My answer will always be yes. We will definitely have the Kims and the Melindas of the world there to support you and ensure that you are successful. And once you are part of that Assa Familia, like you have an entire, I think it's like 70,000. So many people that are invested in your success. Mentors, coaches, partners, and we want to be here for you. So with that, Melinda, I will see you in the classroom next week. Bye, everyone. Bye. And join us next week for Cafecito.
Yes.